Okay, so you know those Arabian Nights stories everyone's heard of?
Yeah.
Well, get this. Some pretty wild stuff has come across my desk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like seriously intriguing. It all revolves around this idea that there might be a hidden chapter, like a lost piece of the Alif Laila. And it gets even crazier because this missing chapter supposedly has a connection to like King Solomon's sword, you know, the legendary one.
No kidding. Solomon's sword, huh? There's so much lore surrounding that. What does the material say about it? What kind of powers are we talking about here?
Well, according to what I've been reading, it's not just any old sword. We're talking Djinn control, even the possibility of like, you know, interdimensional travel, opening portals to other realities.
Well, hold on. That's some next level stuff.
Yeah.
And this is all connected to a lost chapter of the Arabian Nights.
That's what these sources claim, yeah. And it gets me thinking, you know, what if the Alif Laila, we know, the kind of sanitized bedtime story version, what if that's just the tip of the iceberg? What if there's this whole deeper, darker, more mystical side to it?
I mean, that wouldn't be surprising, right? A lot of ancient stories and legends, they often have these layers, these hidden meanings and deeper truths that get, you know, obscured over time.
Exactly. And this deep dive, that's what we're here for, right? To peel back those layers and see what we can uncover.
Absolutely. Let's get into it.
So the starting point seems to be this 10th century Persian text, Hazar Afsan. Means 1,000 myths, but it doesn't sound like your typical fairy tale collection.
Not at all, no. The sources describe it as having, well, erotic sorcery is a phrase that comes up a lot.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And there are descriptions of jinn summoning rituals, like very specific instructions involving burning frankincense and tying knots. It's not just storytelling. It feels almost like a manual, a grimoire.
A grimoire, yeah. A book of magic. So we're already talking about a much more intense, hands-on approach to the supernatural than in the Arabian Nights we're used to.
Yeah. And that brings us to this missing night 1002. Apparently, this wasn't just some random story that got lost. The sources suggest it was intentionally suppressed, banned even, by certain caliphs.
Oh, why would they do that?
Because according to the material, it revealed something very powerful. Solomon's ring verse, that's Surah 38.34 of the Quran, and how it connects to the Talwar-e-Suleimani, Solomon's sword.
Interesting. So this verse, it held some kind of key to the sword's power, huh? What was so special about it that they had to censor the whole night?
That's the question, isn't it? What were they so afraid of?
Right. It really makes you think about the sheer power attributed to this sword and to this verse that they'd go to those lengths to keep it hidden.
Absolutely.
Now, speaking of the sword itself, the Talwar-e-Suleimani, it's not just described as some ordinary weapon, is it?
No, not at all. According to the source material, it was forged from Nur-ilahi, divine light. So we're not talking about blacksmithing here. This is something otherworldly.
Wow. And then there are these really specific inscriptions mentioned.
Yes, the research goes into quite a bit of detail about that.
Like what kind of detail?
Well, it talks about the 72 names of God.
Yeah.
And here's an interesting tidbit. The source points out a connection to Kabbalah, you know, Jewish mysticism.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently those same names are used in Kabbalistic exorcisms. It's fascinating how those traditions intersect, you know?
It is. It's like all these ancient systems of belief, maybe they're tapping into something similar, some shared wellspring of knowledge about these names and their power.
Right.
Okay, so the 72 names of God, what else was on the sword?
Well, according to the source, there was also a paradise map.
A paradise map, like a map to heaven?
Not quite. More like a map to a legendary city, Iram of the Pillars. It's mentioned in the Quran, Surah 89.7.
Okay, so this is not just some random made-up stuff. This is drawing on real Islamic and even pre-Islamic mythology.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so compelling, right? It's like these specific details, these connections to existing beliefs and stories. They give the legend this weight, this sense of authenticity.
It's not just some fairy tale. It's woven into the fabric of history and belief.
Yeah.
But here's where things get really interesting. The source claims that the Ottoman Sultan Sultan, you know, real historical figure, that he actually had a mystery sword in his possession.
Oh.
And it was kept in the Topkapi Palace, which is, you know, a real place in Istanbul. And supposedly, this sword matched the description of the Talwar-e-Suleimani perfectly.
So we're not just talking about a mythical object anymore. We're talking about a potential real-world artifact.
Yeah, and it gets even crazier. The material mentions that X-rays were done on this mystery sword, and supposedly they revealed hidden inscriptions beneath the gold overlay.
Hidden inscriptions.
Yeah, and guess what? They were similar to the descriptions of the markings on Solomon's sword from that banned Night 1002 text.
Whoa. Okay, so now we have a potential physical link between this legendary sword, the suppressed chapter of Alif Laila, and a powerful figure from history.
I know. Talk about blurring the lines between myth and reality.
Absolutely. It's as if history itself is whispering about the existence of this incredible artifact. And someone, somewhere, wanted to keep it quiet.
Makes you wonder what else might be out there, hidden in plain sight.
Right.
Now let's shift gears for a second and talk about something a bit more recent. According to the research, there was a librarian in Baghdad back in 1985 who stumbled upon a manuscript titled Laylat Alfwa Wahid.
Night 1001 plus 1.
Exactly. Like hinting at that missing 1002nd night, right?
It does, doesn't it?
But here's the thing. Shortly after this discovery, the librarian disappeared. Vanished without a trace.
Oh, wow. That's creepy.
And what's really intriguing is that there were supposedly some leaked pages from this manuscript.
Leaked pages, huh?
Yeah.
What do they say?
Well, according to the material, these pages contained information about the Talwar-e-Suleimani.
Like what?
Like its location. It supposedly lies beneath Yemen's Well of Souls.
The Well of Souls. Yeah. That's a place shrouded in mystery and folklore. It's often associated with, the afterlife, spirits, that sort of thing.
Pretty intense.
Right, definitely adds another layer to this whole story.
And it gets even more intense because these leaked pages, they also described a ritual, a blood ritual needed to activate the sword.
A blood ritual.
Yeah. It involved animal sacrifice and reciting, get this, Surah 27 backwards.
Oh, wow. That's pretty dark. Definitely not your typical hero's quest kind of stuff.
No, it's not. This is some serious, potentially dangerous magic we're talking about.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, what kind of power are we really dealing with here? And at what cost?
And then there's this chilling warning in the material. It mentions 7 explorers who, back in 2003, tried to find the sword following these leaked pages.
What happened to them?
They all died within a year.
Oh, no.
And get this, they all had blackened hands.
Blackened hands? That's eerie. It's like something out of a horror movie.
It is, right. It makes you think, is this a curse? A sign of some dark power? Or just a really creepy coincidence?
I mean, it's definitely a potent detail. Whether it's true or just part of the legend, it really drives home the potential dangers involved in seeking out this sword.
So we've got a lot to unpack here. Is the Talwar-e-Suleimani a divine artifact, maybe hidden away for a reason, or is it a cursed object? Or is it all just a myth?
Or, and this is where the source material takes a bit of a conspiratorial turn, what if they want us to think it's just a myth?
Right, like a cover-up, keep the real truth hidden.
Exactly.
And speaking of getting involved, the source mentions a listener poll. What do you think about all this? Divine artifact, cursed object, elaborate hoax. And for the most compelling theory, there's a free 1-hour Djinn protection guide.
That's interesting. I guess if you're going to delve into this world, might as well be prepared, right?
Right. Now, before we wrap things up, there's one last thing. The material calls it a chilling experiment, almost like a dare.
A chilling experiment, to tell.
It involves reading story #13 from the Alif Laila, the City of Brass. But there's a catch. You have to read it at 3:33 a.m. while looking into a mirror.
At 3:33 in the morning. Looking into a mirror. Okay, that's getting a little spooky.
Yeah. And the sign that something's up, unnatural fogging on the mirror.
Like something's breathing on the other side.
That's the implication. Whether it's actually jinns or just, your own breath, who knows? But it definitely adds to the mystique of the whole thing.
It's a classic occult trope, isn't it? That idea that mirrors can be portals, that certain times are more potent for contact with other realms.
Yeah, those liminal spaces, those in-between times, always ripe for strange happenings. So, listeners, if you're feeling brave or maybe reckless, give it a shot. Let us know what happens, or maybe don't. Sleep might be a safer option.
Probably wise.
And if this deep dive into the world of Solomon's sword and Djinn summoning wasn't enough, next time, we're going even deeper.
Oh. Where are we headed?
We're infiltrating a secret Sufi order, one that's supposedly guarding Solomon's ring. So yeah, the mysteries just keep piling up.
It seems the deeper we go, the more questions we uncover. It's truly fascinating.
So as you go about your day, think about this. What if the stories we dismiss as myths? What if they hold more truth than we realize? What if there's a whole hidden history right under our noses, a world of ancient power and otherworldly beings that we've just forgotten about? Makes you wonder, doesn't it? What secrets are still out there waiting to be discovered?
It certainly does.